Controversies continue across the country over funding for migrants here, mostly illegally, for things like housing and meals from Chicago to Denver. Debates are raging over whether to fund free health care or allow work permits for migrants. But those are political questions, right? I would think we could all agree to be outraged over millions of taxpayer dollars being allocated for migrant services that are being totally wasted. In New York City, an audit was just released showing unbelievable funding failures of taxpayer dollars for migrant services. Mayor Eric Adams apparently gave a company called Tabacco, a $432 million no-bid contract to provide services like meals and hotel rooms to asylum seekers. According to the audit done by New York City's comptroller, Brad Lander, in May and June of 2023, just 2 months, Tabacco paid $1.7 million for vacant hotel rooms, just to be clear, meaning the rooms were not used, and collected $408,680 in commissions. And Tabacco reportedly spent close to $1 million to deliver 260,000 meals in 2 months, but it turns out, according to the audit, about 40% of those were not even needed. And there's more. From paying for unauthorized security staff to charging sales tax illegally, the audit estimated that of the $13.8 million paid out in 2 months, $11 million of it should be paid back to the city. 80% that the investigators found was misused funds and is owed to the city. Joining us now is John Tabacco, former Libertarian candidate for New York City Comptroller, and he has been following this issue closely. Thanks very much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
All right, you were not surprised when you heard this?
I was not surprised at all. As you mentioned, I was Brad Lander's, one of his opponents the last time he ran for comptroller, and I thought he was highly unqualified for the position. He had no background in finances, and I thought it was a political stepping stone. I started looking at this Tabacco stuff like 2 years ago, and I was actually writing emails to Brad Lander's office saying, how could the emergency power allow them to allocate this much money, $400 million, without oversight and audit from the comptroller's office?
So who did this audit? Who's the one who now audited it to see that all of this was happening?
Well, it would have been nice if Brad Lander weighed in on this 2 years ago so we didn't have to spend 80% of that money that we now have to try to get back. But it is notable, Dan, that Brad Lander has been signaling he wants to run for mayor, run to the left of Eric Adams.
But I'm not interested in the local politics.
No, no.
Right? You know, so the point is that this was an outside audit, right, that was done, and he's now getting accused. This guy Lander, who you're saying is progressive, now he's getting accused by people saying, oh, you know, this audit isn't reliable, this audit is just political, et cetera. And this is what Brad Lander said in response. He said, I don't conduct the audit. We have an independent set of auditors who started this audit last fall, and we announced it to them, the Adams administration, and the whole world what we're doing. That's the job of the comptroller. If you were comptroller, would you have done the same? So he's basically just saying, look, I supported the audit, and now this is what it's found.
For the first time in years, I agree with Brad Lander,
Yeah, right.
and I think he's doing what the comptroller is supposed to do. And I think this is exposing to America that many people may have gone a little too far with these emergency powers. They don't have the right, Dan, to allocate taxpayer money without a mandate from their constituents in their legislatures. So, you know, in this instance, just think about, we probably know a lot of Americans who would have, you know, maybe been down on their luck, would have loved to get one of those free hotel rooms for 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah.
We probably know plenty of veterans and homeless out there that would love to get 150,000
But how does no one see that they're empty hotel rooms?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get making too much food for a moment, right? You make too many meals, you say, oh, empty hotel rooms are just sitting there and no one's saying, hey, guys, you know, no one's using the room.
Oh, I'm Italian, so
Right.
we're used to extra food.
Right, okay.
150,000 meals is a lot, but the insult to injury is that nobody was paying attention to this stuff. And like you said, they were also paying for security to protect those empty rooms. And they were paying for cleaning and commissions on those rooms. So, you know, it just goes to show, and a lot of the places where this stuff is going on, they use these emergency powers, which everybody in America should be scared about, because it takes away our liberty and it gives them the right to spend our money with.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.